If you were to buy a car, which car would you buy, the Ioniq 9 or the Kia EV9?
I can't make a personal choice, but the Ioniq 9 and the Kia EV9 are both great vehicles.
Which car is better between the Hyundai Ioniq 9 and Mercedes-Benz EQS? And if so, which car would you buy?
Ioniq 9 has outstanding performance and fuel consumption for the price, and the advantages of various safety specifications. Benz the EQS stands out with its luxurious interior and cutting-edge technology. Personally, I would choose Ioniq 9.
Yeah, I definitely choose Ioniq 9 for the question. Yes, hello everyone, this is the voice actor of Grubertus One. Today we have a test ride event at Ioniq 9. In fact, interest in Ioniq 9 was very hot at the Privé event 2 months ago, but yes, it is finally officially released in sight today and is waiting for customer delivery. In fact, when the price was disclosed during the preliminary contract, I think many people were interested. It came at a very competitive price, even better than the last EV9 than the Kia EV9. I think the price was reasonable, so I was more interested. First of all, the design of the vehicle shows the overall design that Hyundai Motor is showing recently, in which pixel designs have been applied a lot. Particularly because this front is so wide, we're adding pixel icons for a lot of these parts. Now, when I see it with my eyes, it's not particularly sparkling, but on this screen, the pixel light looks like it's moving a little. These are the functions of pixel light. Through the paid subscription service, you can also purchase various lights of these pixel lights together. And there's also an active shutter grille underneath that can suck in this air, helping to cool down underneath. The vehicle I'm showing you now is a telegraph specification. This wheel design, which is composed of a dense and expensive shape, is a calligraphy 20-inch trim. Also, depending on the specifications, looking at the back there. Quick design can also be chosen from each other according to the specifications. You can choose between 19-inch and 20-inch tires. Depending on each trim, this fender side is applied with the same material of the world, or the black material is added. Digital side mirrors are also being applied. It seems to be a little smaller than the digital side mirrors that were previously applied to this Ioniq. Those things are now changes in form to increase attack performance. In fact, although this Ioniq Age is a very large SUV, electric SUV, its air resistance number is only 0.259. In any case, it seems to be an effort to increase the cost of this electric vehicle. In the case of the Kia EV9, this loop line remains horizontal, while this Ioniq line shows a slightly falling line from the back. These things are creating a more favorable curve. Hyundai Motor describes this as the design that formed the yacht. Personally, I would like to give a little vote to the design of Ioniq 9, and there is now a clean high school on the back right, and if you look at it only from the back, you will see this design that looks like it has been cut off like the 9 of the bedding. You can see it, but it also emphasizes the soft curve shape, and the size of the real lamp from top to bottom is quite large. As expected, it is exquisite and similarly continues the pixel design. This is the first time it has been applied. The function of wiping the rear camera with washing liquid is also applied at the back. You can see a clear picture even in bad weather. And the real One design at the bottom is also different according to the trim, so the design difference of each trim is subtle. It would be better to compare these things. But our Ioniq Age is looking at a row space. As expected, it was a bit relaxed and emphasized the emotional part. I'm showing you the design. Because we emphasize the horizontal shape a little, you can sit indoors and feel a little more comfortable. And here, from the dash to the bottom, various materials are used in layers, showing that they are not boring. Even in the case of the steering wheel, this color combination is slightly different depending on the trim. Now, when used in calligraphy, there are many bright parts, but in this case of lower trim, dark colors are used more. It shows the color combination of the steering wheel, and at the front there are two 12.3-inch displays listed, and the column type gear knobs shown in Hyundai and Kia cars will also be noticeable. And if you look at the front of this steering wheel, you see this dot mark. This is not simply a design element, but it also has a function of being strong for the driver by glowing red when reversing or in the event of an obstacle. And the air conditioning unit in the search form also has a very convenient part to use. There are now a variety of city port on the front, and the welcome part supports backwards. So laptop charging is also possible with city cable. Not every cable is possible. You need to have this C-type cable that supports high-speed charging, because it can even charge your laptop. If you use the line, you should also have a cable that supports high-speed charging. And there is a smartphone wireless charging pad on the front. There is also a button on the front to adjust the drive mode. Now, there is a black vehicle on display on one side, and as I said, you can also notice the difference in this wheel design depending on the size and design of each trip. And this car on display, unlike the car I just lost, has a swivel seat, swivel sheets. Now you can choose one of the two relaxation sheets and apply it to the model here. Now the income can be organized in the form of sheets facing each other like this, so in my case it would be more convenient for outdoor activities or traveling as a family. While moving, I actually think that leaving it like this will cause motion sickness while driving, but I think it can be used quite usefully when doing outdoor activities such as car wars while parked. Is there a table in this part? I also think it would be better if there were some accessories that could be set. On one side, there is also a port on the seat with a couple more. Now that the air vent is located on the top, it seems to be more comfortable in the summer. Now, this vehicle is the 6-seater model of Calico specifications that I drove, and among them, the model with relaxed seats. In the case of a swivel seat, if you pull the lever on the front of this seat, you can now rotate 360 degrees. The relaxed seat does not have a rotating function, but usually in the seat. If you press it, yes. As you can see now, the seat expands at a very comfortable angle and supports the calf. So if you want to move comfortably, I think a relaxing seat is better than a table seat, and the handle of the relaxation seat has this massage function and some other controls. And this real city display, which can be remembered as an option, is also an eye-catching part now. I'm on this side, so when you press it, you will see a variety of, you can see OTT services, like a big one. If you watch this video with this Ioniq seat in the back seat through a tablet, I think it will be a very comfortable trip. When you go to this app, you can also check various games that can be downloaded and OTT services. And this center console can also be used very conveniently. Now, of course, you can open the front and now you can put things in, but you can also open the back like this. So you can open it like this in front of you. There is also an opening in the back, So, if the driver now puts something in front of him, he may have taken it out through this universal concert, or he may have taken it out from Lee Yol. There is now a separate space below. That's too big. It will be a deep sensitivity layer. Thanks to the factory index, it is gathered here. Especially on the inside, there is not only space, but also things like partitions like this are well done, and the lower part can be separated again. And in the case of this separation inside, reach out to this deep place inside and reach out to a very deep place. Because it can be used up to, it seems that this part can be used very usefully, not only in one row, but also in 2 rows. I think it would be a good idea to collect this part like snacks and share it with the people in this column. Now we have moved into the 3-column space. The space itself is not so spacious. Now I have adjusted the seat to the seat position with some room, but for me, who is 170 tall, my knees are just touching the front. For 2 adults, it is quite small. I think it would be good for the kids to sit down now, but the nice feature is that these 3 heaters can also adjust the angle in this electric way, so you can press a button like this to adjust the extremes of the 3-day sheet. Definitely this relaxing seat. I think you will be a little worried about whether to ask for income. Obviously the uses are different, so I think you should experience it yourself and make a careful decision. Now if you press the button at the bottom of the queue, you can now open the door. The basic loading space is 620 meters, now that they have all been built for 2 or 3 years. However, if you reduce both the 2-month and the 3-month period, you can expand to a space of over 2,400 meters, and also in Yohaba. The storage space is slightly prepared. Both work and sheets can be folded electrically. It can be stored neatly through the button. At the back, this 220 port outlet is applicable, so even indoors you can use the V function. Of course, the outdoor V mode function can also be used externally if the connector in this charging port is connected. Now there are common vehicles with handles like this that can open the Frank space separately. There is no it. If you just put the Frank Summer button in front of the driver on this front, yes, you can just lift it up and open it like this. There is plenty of space in the front. Since this vehicle is now a four-wheel subscription model, the Frank space is a little small, but if you choose a general rear-wheel subscription model, you can secure a wider chat space down to the bottom. And the fun part is when you go to a modern online store. We also sell this cold bag that fits this Frank size. Because it is an insulated bag that is easy to carry, I think it would be good for those who buy Ioniq 9 to take a look at this insulated bag function. I think you can look at various accessories together in modern online stores. But now let's find out the driving performance of the Ioniq line that we have been waiting for. The world is really snowing. This winter will probably be the last big snow, but the conditions for the test ride are not good. Also, the test drive time is quite short right now, so I am driving now only to experience it. And the fact that I can drive so comfortably even in bad weather makes the overall setting of this vehicle really comfortable. This makes me think that it is a large electric car that can be used by the whole family. Let me just take a quick look first. A 160 kilowatt electric motor is mounted on the rear wheels. It's the basic model. However, for performance-oriented models, a motor with a similar capacity to the rear wheel motor will be placed in the front, so the output is about twice as high. However, due to the nature of the vehicle, it seems that many people will choose a model that emphasizes excitement rather than a model that emphasizes performance. What car am I mistaken? This is a calligraphy specification. This is a car with almost all options. The price of the car is also very expensive. Well, with the launch of this Ioniq line this time, it is true that this price competitiveness is better than the existing Kia EV line, but if I add various options that I can use, it is inevitable that the price of the vehicle will increase, I think. Usually you choose optional specifications or trim from the late 70 million won to the early to mid 80 million won. If so, I think it will be a satisfactory vehicle. The battery capacity is just over 110 kilowatts. The distance of the driver is only 532 kilometers, and the distance is 532 kilometers based on the rear wheel subscription model. It is said that even if you travel to Busan by electric car, the remaining battery level is about 20%. A very comfortable driver's distance is secured. In fact, as the vehicle grows, the battery capacity may increase, but as the battery capacity increases, the weight of the vehicle will inevitably become heavier and the market share may decrease. So we've seen a number of factors that can somehow reduce this power consumption, whether it's the aerospace performance of the vehicle, introduced from the outside of the vehicle. The air intake part and the reduced size side mirrors can also be seen as an effort to improve airspace performance even a little. And basically now the BMS setup itself, the battery management system itself, is now evolving over time. And how can we use power more efficiently? As research and development on these things continues, I think it's safe to say that they're progressing more and more. Ayong and Nayong's ride is really good. Now even when you cross the barrier, this heavy vehicle really smoothly catches the secondary impact and calmly changes, even if you drive fast on the highway. Well, when driving at low speed very calmly. I could sit down on the road and feel it driving, and you know there are little trees on this road. Well, it is true that this information is accurately conveyed to the driver even when passing these small seconds such as leg joints. But these things never come close to shock and absorb these vibrations very neatly. Recently, hydro bushings have been widely applied, and the suspension settings are also showing a very well completed appearance. Now, today is a bit eye-catching, so it's not easy to speed up. But if you speed up, in the case of a command-driven model, the output is quite high. It is a vehicle that shows such figures in terms of horsepower in the latter half of 400 horsepower and 300 horsepower. When accelerating rather than rapidly exerting this torque, it pushes this very heavy vehicle a lot. It shows this feeling that it's really not burdensome to drive. It shows the sensation felt in a sedan or luxury SUV. I think this set really suits UE9's personality, especially when collecting such a large car. The most important thing to worry about is this roll. There will be left and right rolls, yes, there will be front and back nose, there will be front and back tilts like dives. The height of the vehicle is now high and the length is long, so if you drive an internal combustion engine SUV of the past, there were some parts where left and right rolling could not be avoided to some extent. In the case of this large electric vehicle, such as a large SUV, the center of gravity is basically lower and the hub base is very long. Unlike internal combustion engine vehicles in the past, the area itself is very wide. So now there is a feature that can be suppressed to some extent, but I think the setting is really good now, even if you tilt the steering wheel like this now. The left and right movement of the vehicle does not feel so great. Even when changing lanes in a hurry, I feel like the vehicle is moving almost horizontally like this. Considering that it is an SUV with such high information, it seems to be an important factor that shows a very good and satisfying sense of life and death. You can choose from 3 driving modes: economy sport, then 4 modes: midlife and personalized midlife. Especially now that terrain mode is supported, there are various modes that can be driven in this road environment, including auto, snow and sand. In such bad weather, this terrain mode will definitely be very helpful. Asphalt definitely gets a little quicker. It doesn't feel explosive. Well, it seems to be a result that reflects the weight of the vehicle, but it still provides a sense of acceleration that is not embarrassing to the level that the driver can control. I think these things now show some appropriately controlled level of acceleration due to the nature of such a vehicle that can now carry a lot of families in the back. So far this year, I've only been practicing electric cars, and from this we have succeeded cars like the Aerosthetic, and now we are continuing to test drive electric cars up to the Ioniq 9. Various models, from high-end large electric SUV priced at 90 million won to really low-cost electric cars like the Aerosthetic, have been launched this year. It is really being released in the domestic market. I think it's a real pleasure. In the past, electric cars were much more expensive than internal combustion engines. At the same time, there were many perceptions that the car was inconvenient to use due to the lack of infrastructure. Now you can choose from a wide range of price ranges, especially electric vehicles, with price ranges that have greatly narrowed the gap, with internal combustion engines are being released one after another, what premium brands are also introducing small electric cars. And I think this electric car is coming to a time when it can become more popular after passing the era of train mining in this era. Well, it's simply a cheap electric car. The ride comfort and performance as an electric car are not inferior at all, and they have shown a level that can be accepted. And now, in the case of high-end electric cars such as the Ioniq 9, they are really showing some unmistakable performance. Now the long range, comfortable ride, luxurious specifications, and the usability of the infotainment system are really developing day by day. Wouldn't it be a better environment for those who have thought about electric cars at least once, because they can now compare and evaluate various models? I hope this year will be a better environment. Battery prices are dropping a lot. It seems that many plaintiffs in the era of digging electric cars have come up with solutions like this. Ioniq Age is a large electric as an SUV and as a family car. I think you can probably give a good rating in terms of usability or performance. So far it has been a global tour. Here is a video of the Ioniq 9 test ride. If the video is useful, please subscribe and like it. See you in the next video. Thank you.